Welcome to our first webinar addressed to the mentors of the science of structured democratic dialogue. This webinar has been prepared for you in order to help you deal with your mentee in your first meeting. As you know, we have just completed our first collaboratory at Platres in Cyprus, in which we had 20 young participants from many different countries of Europe. Now, these 20 participants are awaiting to be assigned their mentor. Our suggestion is that we are going to study for compatibility between mentee and mentor, and we are going to come up with our own suggestion. If you like the compatibility, then you will accept and you will start working with your mentee. Otherwise, one of them can ask us to make a different choice. So we believe that this might be more efficient for now. So let's now talk about your first meeting. We are suggesting that you will be arranging Skype meetings with your mentees at regular intervals. We don't really want to impose to you specific regular intervals, but they shouldn't be longer than a couple of weeks apart. We are suggesting Skype, but of course you can use any other tool that is available to you. But in general, we would like to have a physical connection between mentor and mentee, which means video. It would be really advisable if you had a way to video record it. We don't really want to publicize it or to make you feel pressure, but it will be a wonderful memory, because this is something that will live forever, and it will be a good memory of how it all began. But at the same time, it will be a good record of what you are discussing, what is being said, what is being promised, what is being planned, so that you can follow up what you are doing every time. So let's now talk a little bit about the agenda for your first Skype meeting. We suggest that you spend a couple of minutes to get to know each other. Don't overdo it, maybe maximum 4 or 5 minutes. It's important that the mentoree, the mentee, knows about you. They need to respect who you are and to know your background and to appreciate the fact that we have chosen a high-profile personality to be with them, accessible and available, to help them learn more about the science. However, at the same time, it's more important that you listen to them. Don't spend the time talking about you, but give them the opportunity to talk about themselves. Try to learn about their life, about their problems, about their studies, about their visions, about their plans. Please do take notes. It would be very bad if in your next Skype meeting they continue talking about something and you don't remember what they're talking about. So please do take your notes, which you should share also with us as minutes of your Skype conversations. So once you finish with get to know each other, we suggest that you ask them and you together watch the movies that have been created in Platres with the challenges, the actions, the promises, and the Kurion recordings. So we do have a lot of recordings, and it's important for them to review them and for you also to know what your mentee has produced. They have given their responses to the challenges of reinventing democracy in the digital era. They have suggested actions for projects or products or ideas to make progress in reinventing democracy. They have also given promises during the last day of what they promise to do once this collaboratory is over and they go back to their countries. They also had a great opportunity to visit one of the most ancient theaters on this planet, the Kurion in Limassol, and they recorded there another short video clip in which they shared some more ideas about reinventing democracy in the digital era. So do watch together these movies, maybe before or during your Skype conversation, and discuss them. That would complete the second item on the agenda for your first meeting with your mentee. We suggest that the third item focuses on their experience during Platres. try to talk to them about how they perceived what happened there. They spent a whole week. We have isolated them in a village that was not very touristic in this time of the year. So we would like them to be open to you and tell you what do they think was the purpose. Was it useful? How they felt about the whole process. Try to go deeper into the process and see whether they really understood what was done, how they appreciate it, if they have suggestions for improvements, if they have ideas on how to repeat it in other places, and so on. So it's important that the third item in the agenda is reflections about the week they experienced in Platres and what they have learned out of it. And do again take notes and add them to your minutes to share them with us, with the staff of the project. Now the fourth and final item in the agenda, the final is number 5, which is preparing your next meeting. Don't forget that. But let me stay now on item number 4. Item number 4 is about their plans. They have already given promises and we have them on video. So why not begin from that? Watch it together and ask them, what do they mean? What are they going to do? If they were not very specific on the video, then try to discuss it again and ask them, what do they believe that it's doable and what can they do? Now, what can they do? What we want them to do is to replicate the process in their own countries, in their own town, in their own little community. This is not easy. It sounds difficult because it requires organization, it requires support from other people, it requires a space, it requires knowledge. Let's start from the last one, knowledge. They experienced the week with knowledge, but this is your task to teach them more about the science of structured democratic dialogue. So try to talk with them about the theory, give them some reading materials, arrange more discussions with them so that they understand why we do it the way we do it, why it's important that we listen to the opinions of many people, why is it important that we write up everything, why is it important that we create these video clips, why is it important that we do influence mapping, why are we asking all these questions, whether one idea influences another, and what is the final outcome of that map, of that tree? How do we read it? Why are we so sure that the items that lie in the root of the map are the most influential? And how do we take action now? So theory is your field, your expertise. That's the major part of your role. Now, they already have a task that is related to replicating the project. Remember that every one of them is supposed to have 10 shadow participants. That was a requirement for us to choose them. So they do have their 10 shadow participants. These are other 10 young people who have similar beliefs, similar experiences, and similar drive to change the world, to develop new systems of governance. So their task now is to really engage them. So please discuss with them their names of the shadow participants, where they are, what they do, how they think the shadow participants will become active, what is needed to really mobilize them, and encourage them to start their first structured democratic dialogue with them. They already have 10 participants at hand. So start with them. Discuss with them a possible triggering question and encourage them to enter that triggering question into Idea Prism, the software that supports all our work. Invite the 10 shadow participants with their emails to join the dialogue. Explain to them that they have to help them download Idea Prism if they need some help, and how to respond to the triggering question, maybe with just one idea. Remember that submitting one idea means submitting a title of that idea, submitting a clarification of that idea, like a paragraph in text, and also video recording yourself using your mobile device like that, and submitting a 30-second video clip. This is the next target. So please conclude your first Skype conversation and Skype meeting with your mentee by arranging a date for the next Skype meeting and agreeing that by the next meeting at least a couple of tasks will be completed, and especially the task of learning more about the theory of the science of structured democratic dialogue, and also launching a new dialogue so that they learn how to actually do it with their own shadow participants. This concludes our webinar, and I wish you all good luck.